One staccato, two staccatos, three. I don't have three, I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? All right, so I just picked up my Staccato C2, threw on a TLR 7A right here. I may actually carry this thing some. It's the DPO version, and I kind of wanted to show you the difference between the P and the C2. I didn't really see a big video on this, and maybe I just didn't look hard enough for it. But if you're like me and you live in a small town and the people can't even pronounce the name Staccato when you go to pick it up at your local FFL, or somewhere like Bud's Gun Shop in Pigeon Forge, and they're like, whoa, that's actually a real Staccato, because they never see them, so you can't actually go somewhere and hold them. I want to do this video for you guys so you can kind of see the difference in the two before you go buy them. Now, I do want to say one big deal is this grip texture right here. It's like their TAC 2 grip or something like that. It is amazing in the hand, but this would tear your skin all to pieces if you're like carrying that appendix. This is like their normal grip. It is not as grippy, but it is going to be way easier on my abdomen when I'm carrying this thing appendix. Just want to throw that out there. Heat pump right on cue. But just want to throw that out there first thing first. But I also want to say that this grip right here is more rounded than this grip. I did take calipers to them. They're pretty much the same size. They're not too much off. This one might be just a little bit bigger, where it has these flats on it right here where you don't see them as pronounced right here. But they have really rounded this one off when they stippled it, and it does feel better in the hand than this one does, and that's just my opinion. This one just feels fatter in the hand. This one's a little smaller. I have a size large hand, and this grip out here, this grip texture actually feels better. It feels just a little bit smaller. Not saying this one is bad. It's perfectly fine. Just especially if you have smaller hands, you're gonna like this texture a little bit better. Now let's check this out. Let's set them on top of each other. They should be about identical on the back side, except for the grip length. You can see right here how much smaller the C2 is. I have to say, when I picked up the C2, I was a little surprised, not in a bad way, but how small this gun was. I thought it was going to be bigger in my mind, and maybe it's because I bought the threaded barrel P version and the non-threaded C version. Now both these have been safety checked, but look at this. I think it's an 11-degree crown. I did get the DLC barrel on both, but I do want to show you something on this. So you see the guide rod is also DLC coated on this one. For some odd reason, they don't DLC coat the guide rods, or at least on mine, on the P version. I don't know why they did it. The whole gun is completely blacked out. I believe this is actually a blacked out model, but the guide rod is not blacked out. This is also a blacked out model, and you can see the guide rod is actually blacked out. Now, I don't know why they did that with the P version, but they did. I also like the magwell better on the P, but of course this gun is more tailored for EDC or CCW, so they did give you some kind of beveled magwell on this, but it is just plastic, where this one is aluminum. And this one has 3 16-round magazines, and this one comes with 2 17-rounders and 1 20, which I bought extra magazines for both. Again, you can see here at the barrel length for the threaded barrel, at least, an actual X300U actually is behind the barrel just a little bit. And then with the TLR 7A, this will give you some idea about how far behind the barrel it sticks. This is what I'm going to keep on this. I will get optics for both of these pistols. I do need plates as well, but I went ahead and bought the pistols first, and they weren't cheap, so the plate will come next month, or after I get paid off YouTube, I guess. And maybe some RMRs. I'll probably put RMRs on both of these. I actually like the Holosun optic better, but I do believe I'm going to put Holosuns on both, or not Holosun, but Trijicon RMRs on both of these, because I am probably going to use this for like my war belt. So I'm going to put a Holosun on it, so it's a little more rugged. And I want not a Holosun, an RMR. I don't know why I keep saying Holosun. I'm going to put an RMR on this one. I use Holosuns on everything. That's why I keep saying that. But I'm going to put an RMR on this one, so it's a little more rugged. And just for training purposes and just getting used to it, I'm going to put one on this one as well. So if I carry it some, I'll get used to the dot and I don't have to. I do prefer the circle dot, but that way I get used to having just a dot. That's my reasoning behind it anyway. Now let's take a look at these two compared to some pistols that you're probably more common with. So let's do the C2 first, since I just got it. Here is a Glock 19. It is a Dynamic Weapons Solutions Glock 19. Go check out Dynamic Weapons Solutions. They support the channel, so go support them. They do excellent slide work, and they also sell optics and stuff like that. But you can see the slide work on this is pretty amazing. But if we set this up to it, if we blunt up the back of the beaver tail here with a threaded barrel, they are pretty much dead even. But if we blunt up the slides, you can see that the actual Glock is actually longer if you don't take in the beaver tail, which I know you have to take in the extended beaver tail back here, the grip safety. So with it, it is essentially the same identical length as a Glock 19 with a threaded barrel. Now, here is it next to a Smith & Wesson M&P. If we look at it, you get pretty much the same outcome. If you take it all the way back, the C2 is a little bit longer. If we go slide to slide, of course, the C2 is a little shorter. And the SIG P320, if we blunt it up, the 320 is just a little bit shorter as well. It does have an, a beaver tail on the back as well, but it is just a hair shorter, not much. So with some common carry guns like the Glock 19, the 320, and the M&P, this is very, very comparable to those guns. Now I know a lot of people aren't carrying those guns, they're carrying 365 now, the Hellcat Pro, the G43X, and guns like that. But back when these guns were very common, this gun right here is very, very comparable to those guns, and these guns are very capable of being carried for, EDC and CCW, so this gun will be very capable as well. Now, if we move in the P, we're going to take a look at the Glock 17 with a threaded barrel. You can see right here, the actual P is still just a little bit longer because you have to put in this beaver tail back here, so we blunt up against that. The P is just a little bit longer than the 17. Now I've never been able to conceal 17 because it prints too bad, but and I didn't buy this for concealed carry, but I wanted to compare that with guns that you all were probably familiar with. If we do the full-size SIG P320, if we blunt that up as well, you can see right there, the Staccato is still just a hair longer. I mean, just a hair. It's not much longer, but it's just a hair longer. So I wanted to kind of make this video. I'll do a full review of these guns, shooting them and stuff like that as well. But I kind of wanted to make this comparison video just to kind of show you guys what these guns were comparable to. I didn't want to bring out the super duper small compact guns because these are going to be way bigger than those. But with some normal old EDC guns, I mean, these guns are common EDC guns just a few years ago before those subcompacts just stormed the market. What did the 365 come out like 3 or 4 years ago, and since that came out, everybody made a gun kind of like that, and they've just, like I said, stormed the market. And now you can get, SIGs, the macro, which is probably close to the same length as this, close, but it has 17 rounds, where this actually only has 16 rounds. But what you gain in the Staccato is that single action trigger. You got single action trigger. You're not going to be able to repeat. Even though SIG has an amazing trigger, it's going to be hard to beat the single action trigger in a 2011 or a 1911. There again, I just want to make this video to kind of show you guys, if you was looking at buying one of these two guns or both these guns, what to expect. Because like I said, I didn't get to look at these before I bought them. I don't regret my purchase. I love the size of both these, but this was smaller than I was actually expecting it to be. There again, not sad about that because I may EDC this some, so the smaller it is, the better. And I know they just have a regular C, but it's a single stack. I want the double stack. But again, it was just smaller than I was expecting it to be. Again, I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. Stay tuned and subscribe for full reviews of both these and reviews of the rest of these as well. And we'll see you next time.